Hello and welcome to another edition of the Stench of Truth. I just want to comment on a couple things very quickly. First of all, the unrest in the Ukraine. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the Olympics in Sochi, and some commentary on that. So let's have a look at it, shall we? First of all, in regards to the Olympics, I say, fuck the fucking Olympics, because the fucking Olympics is nothing but a big fucking waste of time. Okay? $50 fucking billion to build the Olympic Village in Sochi, while at the same time kicking people out of their homes, not compensating people properly. There were numerous and myriad problems with employers not paying their employees. And guess what? Those employees were mostly migrant workers from the East and from Middle Europe, or what used to be called Eastern Europe. And some of these people worked for weeks and weeks and weeks without getting anything in the way of pay. Okay? Now, a lot of people have also commented on the condition of the actual Olympic Village, and what we've seen in the news is people having to kick their way out of a bathroom, water that looks like fucking toxic fucking sludge, and all kinds of problems. Okay, and it seems to be framed in this idea that Russia is backward, they can't do anything right and all this sort of thing. But it's not like Russia, the country, built the fucking village. All of this was done by private businesses. Okay? And just like in the great United States of America Incorporated, when you give money to a corporation for something, you get fucking shit in return if you get anything at all, because they're in the business of ripping you off. Why should it be any different in Russia? That's the question. Okay? Now, let's look at the Ukraine. Now, it's being framed, especially in non-United States sources, like the BBC, that the Ukrainian uprisings more or less started in tandem with the decision by the Ukraine to back out of a free trade agreement with the European Union and instead decide to have closer relations with Russia. Now, free trade agreements are the life's blood of corporate oligarchy around the fucking world. That's what cements the new world economic system that's already been in place for years. It cements it even further by locking down further corridors of trade. And if the people are opposed to their government's action of not being involved in a corporate giveaway fucking scheme of free trade with the European Union, one can conclude that this is a manufactured dissent in the Ukraine, designed to try and make the Ukrainian government enter into this free trade agreement so that then their entire population will be fucking slaves to the corporations and their national sovereignty will be undermined by international fucking thieves and fucking cutthroats. That is to say, multinational fucking corporations and goddamn banks. Okay, so if that's the goal of the uprising, then one must assume that it is being conducted by the Brzezinski faction of United States of America Incorporated, the global enforcer of capitalist exploitation, murder, and death. That's right. So the Ukrainian uprising seems to be totally manufactured. And it's good timing on the part of the masters of manipulation behind the scenes, because it's going on at the same time as the fucking useless, retarded Olympics, which serve no fucking purpose except to make countries go out of their way, kick people out of their homes, construct useless villages and stadiums and etc. that will never be used again. Total waste of fucking money that could be used to, I don't know, feed the starving people? I don't know, maybe hire people to work for actual real jobs? I don't know, maybe pay for health care for some people who have rotting limbs stuck in their house, who can't get out. I don't know. It just seems to me that $50 billion in Russia would go a long way to resolving some of the problems that the people face in Russia. Now, I'm no apologist for Putin and Russia, okay? But I do think that there is still this tremendous amount of fucking animosity within the bureaucracy of this country headed by Brzezinski, who just absolutely hate anything Russian. And they go out of their way to try and do everything they can to make Russia seem like the evilest, most awful, horrible thing in the entire history of the fucking universe. Now, turn your fucking eyes around, fuckers who want to look at Russia as being backward and totalitarian and all that kind of shit, and look at what they do in this motherfucking country. We have more people in fucking prison than anybody. So I don't want to hear about human rights and all that kind of shit. Unless you start looking in a fucking mirror and looking at your own fucking self, you fuckers. So fuck the Olympics. Yeah, there's gross, overcosts and all that kind of shit, but that's corporations. That's what they do. They're in the business of ripping people off. One should not be surprised that the Olympic Village is made like shit and falls apart, and the water's bullshit and you can't drink it because it's filled with fucking poison. Huh? Because the corporations built it and got huge amounts of money, way more than what it was worth, for cost overruns and all the other bullshit fucking scams that they play. So you shouldn't be surprised. Okay? Was there corruption? Did Putin give away shit to people and give jobs to people and do all this other shit to curry favor and give away stuff? Sure, there's corruption. There's corruption in that government just like there is everywhere else. But Jesus, I hate it when they try to do this black and white bullshit. When they do the same motherfucking things here and everywhere else around the fucking country. Okay? So don't talk about the splinter in my eye until you remove the fucking railroad tie from your own. You fuckers. Just my thoughts for today. Thank you. Good day.